Work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say.
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect.
Reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard.
The strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard. Work hard. Work hard.
Hey guys, I'm Tatum.
And it's your girl, Milan.
And welcome to episode 19, I think, of the
Tatum got it right. I think you got it right. Don't quote me, though, because it may be episode 18. I feel like it's 18. Maybe it's not 18. Maybe it's 19.
I really don't know.
I'm the only one that's good at it. Let's see, 16. That Girl Boss Essentials was 17. Marcus was 18. This is 19.
I got it right. Okay. So funny. I don't know. But yes, guys, welcome to the podcast. So today we are continuing on with our Black Girl Boss Essentials series. And today we're going to be talking about time management and organization. This is a question that a lot of women in business have. This is a topic for real that slaps a lot of us in the face when it comes to entrepreneurship and starting our own businesses, because we know that this is something that we want to do, but we don't really understand how much it really takes, how many sacrifices we have to make, or how many adjustments we have to make to our lives, to our schedules, to our relationships, just everything. And to be honest, it's a reason why a lot of people don't stay the course. It's because they can't really handle it. So there are a few points that we have today for time management and organization. So the first one is priority versus balance. So a lot of people always say, well, how do I balance my 9 to 5 with my business? Or how do I balance my relationship with my business? And at this point, I feel like it's not necessarily about balancing. It's about prioritizing. Something is going to lack somewhere. You're not going to give 150% or be a A+ student at every single thing. Something is going to have to lack. So the way to make sure that you're not lacking in the areas that are most important to you is to prioritize. So figure out what's the most important. This is something that I did recently again with redoing my schedule now. So it was like, okay, what's important to me now? My business is important to me. My family is important to me. My relationship is important to me. My own self-care is important to me. So these are my top 4 priorities at the moment. So everything that I do within my day, something is going towards those priorities. Now, other things might fall off. So let's say my friendships, I might spend less time with my friends. So that's something that I may have to sacrifice. And luckily I have a great group of friends. My friends understand, so they don't really trip like that. So I have to just make sure that I prioritize what's important to me and add that into my schedule. So to give you guys a little bit of insight on what my day-to-day schedule like. And if you aren't, follow me on Instagram at Tatum Temia, TatumTemia. And I've been really trying to show day-to-day what I do throughout the day, so y'all can understand, like, I'm not just talking about this. These are things that I really do. So my day looks like is I'm up at 5 o'clock every day and I go to the gym. After I come back to the gym, I try to either listen to praise and worship music, spend time with God or whatever. And I got to be honest, that's an area that I'm not doing the best in right now. So I have to do better at spending that time every single day. After that, it's I call it a Blitz Time. So I put this into my schedule recently to where it's like, okay, between the hours of 8:30 and 12:30 is when I'm just going strictly hard for business. And that means no phone, that means no distractions. It's just straight work for those hours. And then I'll take a little break around like 12:30. So eat, chill, check my phone, do whatever. And then I do that again. So the chill part is between like 12:30 and like 1:30. And then between like 2 and 4:30, I'm doing the same thing, just going hard at business and not really making room for distractions, yada, yada, yada. So then after I do that, I do personal development. So with personal development, that means I'm either reading something, watching something that's going to better me as a person or whatever personal development means for me at that time is what I do then. Then after that, I start doing housework, chores. So I make sure I clean up, I do the dishes, I make dinner, I do whatever after that. And then around like 7:30 to 9:30 is like time with my boyfriend. So I set aside that time to just chill with him, see how his day was. We may watch a movie or something, like we just hang out. And then by 9:30, I'm planning what my next day is. So when I wake up the next day, I can just start my day and I already know what's going on, as opposed to planning my day in the morning. Because a lot of like experts and stuff say that the time that you spend planning your day the day of is a waste of time. If you would do that at the end of the day prior, then you'll be able to be more productive throughout the day. And so then with me having 3 brands under the umbrella, so the Queen Academy Youth, the Queening Group, the Black Girl Boss Podcast. So then I have different days set aside for different things. So Mondays is the Queening Group. Tuesdays is the Queen Academy Youth. I'm doing whatever I need to do for that entity. Wednesdays is the Black Girl Boss Podcast. Thursdays is an administrative day. So I send follow-ups, schedule emails, respond to emails I didn't respond to yet. Like stuff like that is done on Thursdays. And then Fridays are my self-care days. So Friday, I'm doing whatever I want to do to just take care of myself. And then Saturday is either I'm going to an event or whatever, but Saturdays are non-business related unless I have to go to an event. I might hang out with my boyfriend. I might go hang out with my family. Like I'll just have a good time doing whatever in the world I want to do on a Saturday. And then Sunday, it's back to church, recording the podcast, planning for the week ahead. So that's an inside scoop of what my day-to-day is. And then if you can't already tell, everything that I said is a priority to me is incorporated into that. Business, family, my relationship, and my self-care. All of that is incorporated into that schedule. So I challenge you guys to do the same thing for what you're balancing. So write down what your priorities are and then figure out a schedule that works for you that incorporates all of those priorities. And so that actually brings me to point number 2 of this, which is do an audit of your time. And this is something that we go over in the Mastering Life and Business workbook for the Queening Group, is you should really take the time to write down everything that you're spending your time on. Like just give me like 2 days of you being mindful and just writing down, all right, I woke up at, let's say 9:00 today. I scrolled through Instagram for 2 hours. Then I found myself something to eat. Then I chilled for a second. Then I went to work. Like whatever your day is, write down every single thing that you do. And then what will happen is you'll start to realize that you have more time than you think you have. If you would have woken up whatever earlier than 9:00, then you might have been able to get more done that you claim that you didn't have time for. Or if you were to go to sleep a little bit earlier, then you would feel more well-rested when you wake up for the next day. Like, I'm not a fan of not going to sleep. I think that's crazy. You have to sleep. That's a part of taking care of yourself. Like if you want to, if you can't be 100% without sleep, then you need to be getting some rest. Because if not, what was you about to say?
I said, don't judge me.
Well, yeah, I'm judging you because if you would actually get some sleep, you'll be more mentally prepared and clear-minded to go throughout your day. Like I try to be asleep by like 10:30. If you text me after that, anybody text me after that, I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting it until 5:00 when I wake up. But it's just because I just want to make sure that I'm on point all day, especially now because, I don't have a job to fall back on or a steady 2-week paycheck to fall back on. I eat what I kill. So I got to make sure that when I'm hunting, so to speak, to stay on track with the analogy, I got to make sure that I'm doing what I have to do and I'm doing it right every single time. So that, again, point number 2 is do an audit of your time. Figure out where that time is going. How does that compare to your priorities? If you're not spending time on your priorities, then take away some of the things that's wasting your time. So whether it be scrolling on social media, whether it be spilling tea with your friends on the phone all day, or whether it be I don't know, whatever, watching Netflix, whatever it is, if you can take away time from something else to incorporate more time to dedicate to your business or to your family or so whatever is on your priority list, then you need to do that. So Milan, go ahead. You got it from here.
Okay, so I want to backtrack a little because I was just curious because this is the transition of Tatum, the self-employed.
Yeah.
So can you give them like a little, like go back to your day-to-day when you have for our 9-to-5ers on how they can kind of do like prioritizing and balancing if they're like a 9-to-5 and still, having their business on the side?
Yeah, so when I was working, what I did was, and it was still kind of funny because I teleworked a lot, so I had a whole lot more freedom. I didn't have to deal with like a commute a lot of the times. But so before I teleworked a lot, I did have to commute every day. So for the time that I was commuting, what I would do is I would wake up, and I was really bad at it. I told y'all I had to create new habits. I was really bad at it, but I wanted to wake up at maybe like 6 and do something for business before getting ready for work. Sometimes that happened, sometimes that didn't, but that was what I wanted to do. But then when I got to work, I would do what I have to do for work, and then I would come home and I would take like an hour to just like chill, decompress, because what I used to do that I had to grow out of is I would go straight from work to coming home to working in my business. And what happened was I would feel burnt out a lot and extremely overwhelmed. So during that time, I was in my business coaching program. And so something she told me to do was just, disconnect for about an hour or so after work before going into business. And so that's what I started to do. And I would work on my business up until maybe about 10, 11 o'clock. And then I'll go to sleep and then go to work the next day. But then my weekends will be a lot of my weekends would be dedicated to business. So Saturdays and Sundays, I was pretty much working in my business all day, but I wasn't taking time for myself. I wasn't taking time for my family. I was single at the time, so I didn't really have a relationship to worry about, but I wasn't really taking the time for other priorities. So then when I started teleworking and wanted to do more things for myself and to be better about discipline and things of that nature, I would wake up maybe I still wasn't waking up early because waking up early is a recent thing, just so y'all know. But I would wake up maybe like at 8, and then I would work on my business till 9:30, and I would give my job between 9:30 and 5. And then after 5, I would like take a quick break. But because I was at home, I didn't need as much time to decompress from the day because I didn't go anywhere. So I'll take a quick break and I'll go back to working in business from maybe like 6 to about 9 or so. And then by the time my boyfriend came along, then I would chill with him around like 9 to whenever I went to sleep. But I still wasn't doing things like planning ahead for my next day. So I think what I'm trying to explain to y'all is, even though this is me going into self-employed, this is also me creating new habits too. My habits were super sloppy back then. And I'm not saying that you can't have as disciplined of a schedule with a job. You just have to be more strategic about it. I wish I was more disciplined when I had a job, but that also went back to me just being comfortable, knowing that even if I didn't do anything for business today or this week or this month, I still had a check coming in every 2 weeks, no matter what. So for you guys, I would really just not let your job be an excuse for why you can't do anything. Because if you really want the goals that you say you want, you will make it work. People make time for what they want to make time for. So just like you say that about that dude who says he's always too busy for you, whatever, do the same thing for yourself. Make time for your business because that's your goal. That's something that you want to do. So you got to make it work. Otherwise, you're just going to keep being stagnant or keep not reaching the next level. So again, don't think that I can do these things now because I don't have a job, because I could have done these things when I did have a job. I just didn't.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And I just wanted to share that only because we do have our 9-to-5 listeners, and I think it's good and great that they get to see the transition of you.
Right.
From what you said about the 9-to-5 and now how you are this full-time entrepreneur, and this was different. So I think that's awesome, and that's a good, gem to take away. So as you guys are transitioning, you kind of see what Tatum did in the areas of 9-to-5 and being an entrepreneur, and now no 9-to-5, self-employed. So definitely take note on that, because that is a really big part of, this series. learning this transition. So I want us to always kind of go back and forth, reflecting on what we did before and what it is now, especially from when we first started the podcast and everything that we said. Because I know in my tidbits of this episode, I'm going to kind of reflect back to Bae's Business and Besties. And kind of talk about it now that, you know, we both have bays and we have our businesses and besties. So moving on to our next topic, which Tatum kind of just pushed us into with organizing. So a lot of people have asked us in the past, like, how do we organize? How do we do this? How do we do that? So it's like, okay, you have meetings, you have receipts when you go use your company's credit card or you're purchasing something, and then you have to do taxes at the end of the year or in the next, you know, quarter or the end of the, what is it? First quarter, second quarter of the new year, whatever quarter that is. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what did I spend? What did I do? You know, how you're losing control. You're having a hard time organizing. And that's one of the major keys to being successful as an entrepreneur or in business. You have to be organized. So first things first, like myself, I tend to take on so many things at one time. You will find yourself like me. I'll have an email up. I'll have my document that I'm typing in up. I'll have a bunch of tabs up, and I'm bouncing between them. And next thing you know, it's 3 hours later. But what have you really gotten accomplished? And I know a lot of us do that. It's so much on your mind. You want to get so much done in one day, but you haven't. Like Tatum said, she does. She picks a day for the Queen Academy. She picks a day for the Queen Group. She picks a day for the podcast, and that's important in business to pick and choose what you're going to do that day, because if you don't, like I just said, you're going to find yourself clicking through a bunch of tabs, working on this email. You'll send one email, but then you have 10 more emails that you have to respond to. But instead of responding to all those emails at one time, saying, okay, I'm dedicating this hour to respond to emails, you're in this document typing something else. And then at the end of the day, you look to see what you reached and you've accomplished nothing. You did a little bit of something, but it's not to say, oh yeah, I 100% completed this task. So doing one thing at a time, like Tatum said. So pick and choose your days on what you're going to do. So if today is an email day on a Sunday, respond to your emails. Like I know for me, this is business and personal. I'll send out my pitches. Today is a pitch day. Sundays are great for pitching. Guys, if you need to know, if you want to send out an email and you're trying to pitch something to the news or you're trying to get a sponsorship or something, because Monday is the start of a new week. Do it at night. I do mine mainly, like I'll type them up right now, but I won't send them out until I'm about to go to sleep. So that's the first thing that is in the person's inbox. But that's my day with pitching, developing the pitches and getting ready to send them out. And then I do facial masks. It's Facial Mask Sunday. So every Sunday I do a facial mask and get my skin nice and prepped for the week, because that may be a makeup week, it may be a non-makeup week, but whatever the case may be, my skin needs to be popping. So that's one thing at a time. So I know my personal thing is my facial mask that always has to happen, and then my pitching. So number one thing at a time. Secondly, keep a to-do list that syncs with your mobile phone. I need the physical planner person. Tatum, not so much. She doesn't like the planners. I love planners. They help me a lot because it's so much that happens on my phone that I'll see the notification of something and I'll still close it out. But for this physical thing, I'm like, okay, let me look at my book today, and I'll look in it, but it's not anything else in there that's going to distract me from looking at, anything else. It's just what I need to see versus my phone where I'll get an Instagram notification, I'll get a text message, anything that will probably overrule that. But if you are a person that does like the mobile usage and doesn't mind like Tatum, then definitely keep a sync to-do list on your phone. So you can keep the physical planner, like I said, but also have it on your phone, because you never know, it will become beneficial. I know since I have an iPhone, they had the notifications on it where when you have a meeting, it'll remind you, it'll tell you how many minutes or such it takes to drive and all that great stuff. That helps me with meetings, but not necessarily a to-do. So I do appreciate that part when it comes down to reminding me, hey, you got to be here, in about an hour. Just how long it's going to take you. So,
and I will also add too. So for you guys, a way to merge the two, if you're a digital person like me, is I turn off my notifications. So I don't have notifications for any social networks on my phone. Only way I know what's going on is if I actually go into the app. And then I even turn off my text message and phone call notifications whenever I'm in that work mode. So, and I actually do like a mixture of the two. So if it's somewhere where I have my phone or my phone is my primary tool of organization at the moment, I cut off my notifications. Or I still have a notebook where I write down my goals for the week, my to-do list and stuff like that. So when I'm in those moments, like I said, where it's those blitz times where I don't have my phone and I'm not trying to be distracted at all, then I'll just look at the notebook. So it's like a combination of don't let your phone tempt you, but also don't let you be tempted by the phone. So I know even though I may not even get these notifications, sometimes I might just get a moment where I don't really feel like doing this. I want to just go scroll on Instagram. So that's why it is good sometimes to incorporate both of them so that you can mitigate the risk of you being distracted.
Oh, absolutely. I see. Listen, I wish I could do that. Turn off my notifications on my phone, but there's so much that goes on, like with view management, and my interns post on our social media pages. So of course I need to stay abreast. So when I see likes coming on the view management page, I'm like, I need to go see what's happening. So I'll go see the post and check it out. But like I kind of need that. So for all of those who don't necessarily need the notifications, definitely stick to what Tatum said and turn them off and only focus on those important things. And that comes back to prioritizing. Prioritize within your phone what you need. Or unless you're too phone shorty and you can do that, then we have a whole nother conversation that we have to have. But I have another phone. I don't really use it as much as I use my personal phone, only because everything is on my personal phone, if that makes sense. So it only makes sense for me to kind of like have my business stuff on it too, even though I could just put stuff on the business phone. But hey, I'll get there one day. I'm a work in progress. Moving forward to a sheet of paper, a calendar, and a whiteboard. Tatum, can you refresh our memory on what you do with I think it's the board where you have like, you take your tab and put it in the done box, in the done circle?
Yeah, so I have a poster board, and so I need to do a new one, but I had a poster board and it worked really well for me. And so what I would do is I would write, it would be like the week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And I would write down what I was going to do each day, task wise. So I already had like my goals and stuff for the week. And I would write my goals my goals for the month. And I would write my goals in the upper right-hand corner just to remind myself what I'm working towards. And then after I complete a task, I would take the tab that the task is written on. So I basically cut a sticky note into like 4 columns. And I will write the task on there and stick it on the day. And then once I'm done, I move it over to the completed box. And so how that helped me was it kind of reminded me, one, I'm working towards these goals. And as the goals happen, I will cross them off. So it reminded me I'm working towards the goals. It allowed me to see what I'm actually accomplishing, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm the type where I get so caught up in everything that I have to do, or I get so caught up in this is the goal, I need to accomplish this goal, that I don't even give myself enough credit for the things that I do. So by me looking at the box, I'm able to see like, dang, you did a lot this week. Even though I might feel like I didn't do enough, I can see that I really accomplished a lot. So that worked very, very well for me.
Okay, dope. Yeah, I always remember Tatum saying that because it clearly seems to help. And then I tried it myself and it definitely does work, but I just wanted to not speak on what her idea was. I wanted to get the full clarification of it. But another thing that I also found to be very helpful, and this is me as a publicist, I set my week up with my clients. So basically Yard Talk 101. So I know exactly what needs to get done in this week. And every client is different. Every client gets a certain amount of hours set throughout the week. So I may dedicate 40 hours to Yard Talk. And depending on, let's say we're working on a project for Tula Talks, that may be, 20 hours dedicated. Not saying that, those are the actual hours, but just an example of numbers. So for Yard Talk, I'll have a list of this, that, and the third. So on Monday, I'm going to make sure that this partnership proposal gets done on Monday. Tuesday for Yard Talk, I'm going to move on and set up this brand ambassadors guidelines. On Wednesday, I'm going to go ahead and send out a pitch to whatever the CEO, whatever companies he needs us to pitch to. So those are kind of like how I set it up, and I write them down. So then you're keeping track of exactly what you need to do for your client. Then you're giving yourself that one thing at a time that you need to do, and you can set that up in your week as well. And it also can be for a good or a product that you have. So if you have perfume, I guess, and you want to do like your social media posting, and you have different perfumes under a collection, spend one day on social media, doing like 2 or 3 posts on this particular product or this particular spray. And you can write that down too and just set it up in different plans on which, what your sprays are going to be. So if you have like Japanese cherry blossom on Monday, X, Y, and Z about Japanese cherry blossom on Tuesday, X, Y, and Z. So use that sheet of paper. Use your poster board, use a sheet of paper, use a calendar to set those reminders. But at the end of the day, you still need multiple avenues and multiple ways to keep yourself on track on what's happening and what needs to be done so that you're successfully achieving your product goals and your service goals for your clients.
I also want to hop in and say that it's important to differentiate the times that you're working in your business and the times that you're working on your business, because business development is important because that's what's going to get you more business to do. So you can have your times where I'm going to do this for a client, I'm going to do this for my product, or I'm going to do this service during this times, but then also have your times where, okay, this is my business development time. So I'm going to research new opportunities. I'm going to reach out to people that I want to partner with. I'm going to go to different events to meet new people. So schedule that time as well so that you're not so caught up in always doing for your clients or doing for the business. And then you look up and everybody's contract is up, everybody's everything is done, and you don't have any more business. So never stop doing business development, because that's what's going to help you keep going.
See, Tatum is like my second brain, you guys, because that's what was under Delegate. So one of the things with Delegate was knowing what you need to do and start your team. So with the team, I have interns and everything. So I can delegate my interns to do tasks for my clients or the company's clients, I'll say. And then I can focus on setting up meetings with, different media outlets to just meet with them, not even to ask them to feature a client, but just to talk to them about their brand, my brand, and how we can work together. Or that gives me time while they're working on stuff to go to different events that that the company's invited to go network and to go meet new people to introduce them to the brand. So like Tatum said, that business development. So I'm sitting here sending emails to Rolling Out Magazine. Hey, new management and yada, yada, yada. We would love to sit down and talk with you on both brands and how we can have a future working relationship. But then you have interns over there. They're sending those emails and those pictures out to who we already have relationships with. So great point, Tay. And that's delegating. So normally you need a team so you can actually focus on the business development and they can handle the other items that may not saying they're not important, but the things that aren't really focused like surrounding business development, but needs to still be done. Another tidbit that I found very, very helpful, which is in my planner, and I know iPhones and other calendars have it, is the color coding. I'm not sure if you do color coding, Tay, but I do it. So my meetings would be like green, client events are pink, personal appointments for myself are red. 1, because I like colors. 2, I think it's cute. And 3, I like to see what my month look like in the next month. So if I see like I had so many consultations, like if my calendar is full of green, that lets me know, okay, next month you want to see more green. Or if you have if I have pink and like, okay, these are client events, so these are events that I went to, maybe I need to go to more networking events. So next month I want to see more pink. And I think that's a good way to kind of get you hyped and get you excited. So when you see those colors, you're like, dang, I didn't really have that many meetings last month. What did I do wrong? So then you can go back and do a self-reflection or a business reflection, if you will. And then you can adjust it and try to challenge yourself next month to see more colors. What do you think?
I think that that's kind of cool. And I think, again, that goes back to what we always talk about of knowing yourself. But I think that if that works for you, then that's great, because I can see it, though. I can see how that can be helpful, because even with the board that I had, everything was, my tasks more so was color coded. So it helped me remember what was going on by remembering the colors, as opposed to having to get up and go look a little closer because I'm blind, but having to go look to see what it actually says. But I do think that that's a great way to stay motivated, though. And it's a great way for you to track how much you have going on. So if you see all of these pinks, you can go back to whether it be your marketing strategy or whatever and be like, what did I do this month differently that has all of these pinks? So that then lets you know what you should continue doing the next month to get all of those pinks, or what you should do more in the green category so you can see more of those. So not only is it a great way to stay motivated, but I think it's also a great way to manage how successful your marketing strategy is.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I like color. So if you're a color person, definitely look into that. All right. And lastly, you control your life. Keep that in mind. Your business does not control you. You control it. You control your life. So don't get overwhelmed with so many things that is going on within the business that you're losing yourself and that you're forgetting, this is my company. I started this, so definitely take everything that we said about organizing and about prioritizing and balancing and time management and really implement these things, because if you don't, you're going to lose yourself and it's going to be called business controls your life and not you control your life.
Yeah. No, that's all facts. All caps, all facts with exclamation points at the end. But that actually brings me to my next point of you make time for what you want to make time for. And self-care is something that needs to be in that, because for me personally, last week, it might have been Friday. Well, yeah, the other day, I went to look at an office space and I went with one of my entrepreneur friends, Tish. And so Tish is a life coach. And so she's also in my mastermind group. And so that was me, her, and Tiana are in a mastermind group together. And so a part of our mastermind, we realized, and me talking about the things I have going on and them helping me with it, I realized how self-care is something that I do not prioritize. And so when her and I went to go view the office space, we went and sat down after, and she helped me with a self-care plan. And so what I realized was, and something that she said was that self-care is 100% determined by you. So a lot of people might say, I go get my nails done and feet done or whatever, and that's self-care. But for me, getting my nails done and my feet done and my hair done and stuff, that's maintenance. I don't look at that as self-care. I don't like sitting there while they do my nails. I don't want them to talk to me. Like, I have my headphones in. I'll be like, look, can we hurry this up? Because I have things to do. Like, I don't see that as self-care. That's just a part of me being a woman in my head. So I had to realize that, okay, now I need to figure out what are those things outside of business that makes me happy? You know what I mean? And so we sat down and we wrote down daily things I can do for self-care. So some things that I came up with was gratitude. So writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. We went to we said weekly things. So one of the things I said weekly was really taking time to reflect on my week, writing down my wins, things that I'm happy about, things that I'm able to accomplish. Then we talked about monthly. So monthly, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go get a massage monthly stuff and just take time to just disconnect from business and to rest my mind and just do something for me. And then we even talked about yearly and quarterly. So I was like, wine is something that I like, not even just to drink, but I think wine is a great conversation starter. I love how it pairs with different things. I'm curious about how it's made and stuff like that. So it's something that I look at as more than just something I enjoy to drink. So something that we came up with was like, okay, well, I'm going to go visit like different wineries each quarter. So learning about the wines and tasting them and stuff like that. So that made me happy because I was like, oh man, this isn't something that people really talk about. People always say, well, make time for self-care, or you should disconnect, or you should do this, but nobody ever really says how. And even if they say how, they'll give you the cliches of get your nails done, get a massage or whatever, but we don't really take the time to think about the self part of self-care. Like, what do I enjoy as a human besides being a CEO? You know what I mean? And so when I sat there with her and actually did that, I realized that, okay, now that I know what I like, these are some things that I'm going to do. Like, I like adventurous stuff. I will go indoor skydiving. I'll go zip lining, go-kart racing. Like, I like to have fun outside of just being a business person. So those are some other things that I'm going to start incorporating into my self-care plan. So that tip for you guys is to just make sure that you take time for self-care. And in addition to that, understand that people make time, like I said before, for what they want to make time for. And if you're not willing to make time for your priorities, for your business, for your goals, for yourself, then you're not really about this life. Like, I posted this on Facebook the other day. Like, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur till it's time to be an entrepreneur. And when it's time to be an entrepreneur is when it's time to shake up everything that you're used to. And what I mean by that is not getting caught up in. So for the people who still have jobs, like, don't get caught up in I'm going to go to work, I'm going to go to happy hour with my coworkers, I'm going to do this. Like, really understand what it takes to grow a business. Because the fact of the matter is, a lot of businesses fail. a lot of them. And so, and a huge reason for that is poor planning. That's one of the top reasons why businesses fail. And poor planning goes right into organization and time management. So I'm gonna ask y'all the question, like, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you're going to make these adjustments. You're going to make time for these things. You're going to get more organized. You're going to evaluate your life and figure out what you need to change. If not, then you just don't want it bad enough. So I wanted to really say that because I think on the show, we talk a lot about tips and things that you can do, and we're very positive and very encouraging, but I kind of want to put some fire under you a little bit to get you to understand that everybody won't make it. And it's up to you and your habits and what you do in your life and how bad you want it, if your business is going to be one of the ones to make it to the next level or not. Drops mic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I had to put my mic on mute, guys. Sorry. I was over here slicing Tatum like, yes, go off. But I didn't want y'all to hear that because she's really dropping jewels. But yes, Bling Bow, like she just dropped the mic off of that one. And it brings me to my next point, which flows right into making time for yourself and knowing when to stop working daily. We will get so consumed of sitting in front of our computers for 8 hours from... Not even 8 hours. You can sit in front of your computer longer than that if you're working. I know I can sit from now until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on my computer. But how beneficial is that to your relationship? How beneficial is that to your besties? And how beneficial is it really to your business? Because again, it goes back to what we said earlier in the show. What did you get accomplished? What did you really get accomplished in that day? So if you look at the day and you sat in front of your computer for 14 hours and you still are at 85% of an accomplishment, you really didn't do much. So what I've started to do is I'll make a certain amount of goals that I want for, let's say, the evening time. I'm like, okay, by 10 o'clock, I want to be finished X, Y, and Z. So as I'm looking at the time, I'm like, okay, it's 9:30 and I'm on the last thing, but I have probably like 85% of it to do. You know, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to push a little bit harder, or do you need to just move it to the next day? So luckily, I've been disciplined enough not to look at my phone and get distracted to where I can complete it. But I say that to say, not saying that 10 o'clock is the cutoff time. That's just an example. But I've set cutoff times for my work. I've set off cutoff times for when clients can call me. No, you can't call me after 8. No, you can't call me at 9 o'clock. No, you can't call me at 10 o'clock. You can't. I'm sorry. Tatum introduced me to this website. Tatum, what's the website where people can schedule a call with you?
Acuity Scheduling. ACUITYSCHEDULING.com. I was like, how you spell scheduling? I couldn't get it out. But yes, AcuityScheduling.com.
Yes, AcuityScheduling.com. That is the best thing Tatum probably could have ever introduced me to in life, because it allows you to set the times, it allows you to set the days. So I do, I think Sunday through Thursday for calls. And then like on Mondays, I'll have calls probably from, I think 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then after that, that's it. No more calls for the day, which means I'm not meeting. We can't talk on the phone. I can't see you in person. No, I cut it off at that time because I do have other things I have to do within that day. So that's my hours. And I do have a time frame in there where I take lunch. So there is no break. So, I mean, there is a break in there too with that. But all in all, that's the time on a Monday. Sundays, I give it from, so like on Sundays, we record the podcast. So I'll schedule it from like 5 to 7. So hopefully you can get in there with 30 minutes, or if you have an hour. But other than that, after 7, that's it. I'm not taking any calls. I'm not doing any of that because, like I said, you're going to have a hard time with your relationship if you have one. Bay is going to be like, so you just going to be sitting here on FaceTime with me at 11 o'clock at night talking to your client? Or Bay going to go to sleep and then you want to talk about your day, but Bay's tired. You got to understand, Bay had a day too. So knowing when to stop working and putting those time constraints on yourself, putting them on your clients. Don't allow your clients to call you at 1 a.m. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb at a certain point in time, a certain hour. Do what you have to do, but you need that personal time for yourself. You need it for your friends. You need it for, like I said, Bay. Another thing that I've done, I've incorporated Lush Balm baths or bath bombs into my schedule. So once a week, I'll just shut the world out, put my little Apple Music on, not like my little vanilla scented candle, drink my Moscato, Tatum. drink my Moscato, and I'll sit in the bath bomb, and I'll literally just sit there for like 45 minutes. And I have the best time of my life. I'll be in there, don't judge me, y'all, cracking jokes with my own self, thinking of stuff that makes me laugh. But I just enjoy the time to myself where I could just sit and just exit everybody out. And Mondays are my day off from my 9 to 5. So I kind of try to pick it in there after, I set my calls up if I have calls that day. If I don't, then I can do it a little bit earlier. But other than that, I do take that time to just relax and, just be to myself. I've also incorporated after my 9 to 5, when I get off work, I go to the gym for an hour, which means I don't have my phone in my hand. It's just me and my trainer. We're just going hard for an hour. And it feels so good because I don't think about business. I don't think about anything that's going on, in my life besides just that person, like Sam said, that health and that physical development within myself. And then after I leave the gym, okay, now, it's back to reality. But that hour meant so much to me. So I was able to, like I said, cut work out in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be all day. You can take a personal day to yourself, but just find that time to remember who you are. That's what it is. Remember who you are. Remember the person before the business. Remember the person before the full-time entrepreneurship. Remember the person before you had a 9 to 5 and a business. Just remember that person that was genuinely happy, because in this, it is so hard to lose yourself. It is so easy to be lonely, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to lose yourself. We just become so consumed and wrapped up in being successful and being the next big thing, as we always hear on a podcast from, you guys being the next big thing. You get so wrapped up in doing that, you forget everything else that ever mattered. And now I dropped the mic. Boom.
I will also add to that, like, if all you worry about, and somebody had to check me on this, like, this is a legit problem for me. If all you do is focus on that next goal, you're never going to really, truly be able to enjoy your success, because then you're putting yourself in a position where you're never good enough. And I had to keep it real with myself to where when I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, as soon as I accomplished my affirmation every morning at one point was, I'm going to be self-employed, or I'm a full-time entrepreneur. And I had my resignation letter on the wall. Like, that was the goal. That's what I was hustling for. And then as soon as that happened, I erased it and put, I'm a six-figure business owner. So then I had to check myself and was like, yo, if you don't ever take the time to soak in the accomplishment, then you're never going to be satisfied with where you are. And to me, the self-employment milestone is one of those celebratory moments. But at the same time, it's not one for me in my head to where I'm going to be like, I made it. That's not what I made it looks like for me. It's a part of it, but it's not. But again, I had to break that habit of not celebrating or soaking in moments. And so what I did on my last day of work was I just took a second. You know what I mean? I just took a second. I put on my praise and worship music, and I literally just got on my knees and thanked God for me being able to accomplish that moment. I cried, bawled like a baby, all of that stuff. But I just had to take a second and understand that, and just be grateful. You know what I mean? And understand that while to me, this ambitious person, while to me it's not like the ultimate level of success, it's still a celebratory moment. And so I had to check myself and be like, no, you need to remember what it felt like at a job. You know what I mean? And you need to remember what it felt like to want this, but not see it as something totally realistic, or for something that's so impossible seemingly at one point. You have to understand that, this is a celebratory moment. So I really had to take the time to just stop for a second and just thank God for blessing me, and not thinking that I made it to anywhere on my own, and just really give credit where credit is totally due and soak that in. And then after that, I can go back to hustling. But, just had to stop for a second and soak that in. So for you guys, make sure you schedule that in too. So once you reach your goal, and this is something that I learned as well, attach a reward to your goal. So for my 6-figure mark, I'm going to go out the country. I haven't decided where yet. I don't do long plane rides, so I got to find something that's reasonable. But I'm going to go out the country on a vacation. And so I didn't attach a reward to the self-employment mark. That's probably why I didn't think of it as a big deal and was like, all right, I need to just go ahead and keep hustling for the next thing. but really just attach a reward to your goals and scheduling that time to really soak it in. And so let's go to the takeaways. So what we want you guys to take away from this masterclass is, one, eliminate the unproductive activity in your life that's wasting your time. So if that means getting off social media for some time so you can develop a better habit, then do that. If that means telling your friends they can't call you during certain times, then that's what that means. If that means that you can't go out Friday, Saturday, and to brunch on Sunday, then that's what that means. So eliminate those unproductive activities that's wasting your time. Number two, keeping an organized life is a major key to success. Again, keeping an organized life is a major key to success. And then lastly, number three, make time for yourself. So I'm going to do a quick little plug before we go into the questions. You guys, make sure you join our Facebook group. It's Black Girl Bosses. I'm going to put it in the show notes, but it's the same as our Instagram page. So Black Girl Bosses, it's a Facebook group just for Black women in business where we can network together. We can share knowledge with each other. We can share our wins with each other. You can promote your businesses on there. So let us know what you're doing, how we can collaborate. So we definitely want to create a community outside of just the podcast for you guys. So make sure you join that as well. So let's go to the questions.
All right. So our first question and our only question of the week is from Just Human Me. Question says, best advice on landing a job to gain experience in the business you want to start without having a college degree.
So she wants a job to gain experience in a business? I'm confused.
Okay, I'm going to try to break it down. So we are providing our best advice on landing a job in the area that she's seeking a college degree to gain that experience. I feel like I just said that.
So she wants to start a business, but she wants to get experience in whatever industry, maybe?
Assuming so.
Okay. I'm a firm believer in, maybe because I'm just an entrepreneur, I don't think you need to get a job to gain experience, because at the end of the day, whatever job you're going to be in, you're not going to learn all that you need to know to run your business, because at best, you're going to get an entry-level position right off the bat. So assuming that you're in that entry-level phase, you're going to get an entry-level job. So it's going to kind of be the busy work for the most part of whoever the higher-ups is. So as an alternative, I would start developing skills in whatever industry you're trying to get in. So let's say marketing is the industry you're trying to get in. I will start taking digital marketing courses, joining the American Marketing Association, but getting a certification is a good alternative to a degree in whatever your niche is. And also start networking and meeting people. Because if you know the right person and you're good at what you do, it don't really matter if you got a degree or not. But when it comes to jobs, though, degrees are often a requirement. You're definitely capped a lot of the times when it comes to that. But if you're trying to start a business, instead of getting a job in that area, I would just do as much self-education as possible and start meeting the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. In an internship, don't focus on the job. I mean, yes, landing a job is great, but if you're trying to get experience in something that you're passionate about, I'll always encourage internships.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the key. I would say, especially in a field that is experience-based. I know a lot of jobs, okay, they'll say you need more education than like 2 years of experience. So, they'll want you to have a PhD and this, that, and the third, but your experience is low. But if it's a field that you're interested in that requires experience, then that's what you need to focus on, is those internships. Because you're more likely to land an internship versus, in this economy, I will say that in this economy, a job. And then you don't want to bounce from job to job either.
It's a job looking for a job. You spending all the time applying, you could be learning the skill.
Yeah, that's like, I don't think it's a job that you're looking for, because then you're saying gain experience. So let's say you get enough experience from that job and you haven't moved up yet. Now you'll be looking for a new job to gain more experience, because they may have a higher position than the one that you had. So then on your resume, it'll say you had 7 jobs in a year.
That's what mine say, girl.
But you don't want it to, say that necessarily, because then you're going to apply for an employer and they're like, okay, so what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just try to stick with internships and taking master classes like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, we have another question that just came in.
Okay, go ahead.
It's from Marcus.
Oh, Lord.
He says, I got a question. Which episode has been your favorite thus far?
That's a good one.
Oh.
Let me go to iTunes real quick.
Right, I'm like, let me look back. Give us a second, guys.
I have a few, and for different reasons.
Okay.
I think my favorite will have to be a recent one when we talked about the mindset. Because I think we went into a lot of detail that people don't normally go into. Mm-hmm. So I think that one was a really, really good one. What else? Dang.
He would come in with that one, right?
He would come in with that one at the last minute where we couldn't have even looked at this prior to recording. Thanks, Marcus. Another one is definitely Raven's episode. I think she did a really good job of being very transparent about a lot of the mistakes that she made when she first went from side hustler to self-employed. So I think that was a great one too. And of course, the first one is definitely one of my favorites because it was our first time recording the show. It's actually one of the most played episodes. And I think also looking back on the first one into now, so much has changed in our businesses, personal lives, the quality of the show. Like, it was a lot of little nuances that I noticed about that show that we don't really have now. So, and I love it though. I think we were just two excited entrepreneurs ready to talk about our journey and ready to build a brand. Like, we didn't have like this 20,000 downloads that we have now. Then we were just two people in the room, recording the show. So I think that just looking back, that's one of my favorite episodes as well, because we couldn't have predicted that this is where we were going to be 19 or however many episodes later.
Yeah, I'll have to say that is my favorite too. That's my number one favorite. I was going to say that. And like you said, it's because of the growth. Mm-hmm. It was like, this is our baby, and now we get to share us with the world. I think that's what it is. It was like we both stepped out and decided we're letting people in on a new level.
Right. And on an imperfect journey. We're doing something that a lot of people don't do. We're not sitting here putting ourselves on a pedestal as experts. We're saying, look, we don't know anything. Well, we don't know anything, but we don't know everything. You know what I mean? All we know is what we've learned on our journey thus far, what we've researched, the connections that we have. We do not have it all figured out. These are the goals that we have. This is what we're working towards. We may accomplish it when we want to accomplish it. We may not, but we're going to be transparent and open with you throughout the whole thing. And that's something that a lot of people just don't do.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think that's what I appreciate about us and this journey and the listeners. You guys are, you guys are with us. You're working with us. You're not like, okay, I'm done listening, because they're not full entrepreneurs. They're not making $1 million off of entrepreneurship. You guys are very supportive. You're always encouraging us and saying, hey, take them along, we love this about this. And it's like, okay, cool. So then that is, gives us that recognition and then that insurance within ourselves to know that, okay, so they like this. This is, they're taking what we said and it's helping them. So let's keep it going.
Right.
It has to be the first one, because the first one was the kick of everything. If that episode would have failed, then you don't know. I would say it would have failed, then that would have been it. So that's my favorite episode. Not even the pilot episode, the actual episode, which was balancing a 9 to 5.
Yeah, that was a real one.
Yeah, that's my baby. The pilot episode, I don't really consider that a full episode because we were just so anxious. It's like, yes, it's here. But the second one, we had it down packed. So I guess it's like the second episode.
Yep. Thanks, Marcus, for that question.
Marcus, what's your favorite one? Since you got a question, since you want to know, what's your favorite? And don't say the one with you in it.
Exactly.
It don't count.
Yeah.
All right.
So go ahead.
Wins. I was say so wins. I got to get my yes button ready.
Let me know when you're ready.
I don't want to mess up. So look, let me be over here because I don't want y'all trying to go on me. I've had it together for the last 7 episodes. I cannot fail today. Today is not a fail day.
Give or take a few.
Don't do that because I've been on it. Okay, we live, baby. We ready.
All right, bet. Okay. The first win comes from @Josh_stylist. He bought a salon.
Woo-hoo.
Next comes from @SincerelyShelly_. A week after quitting a job that I felt was leading me to depression, I received a job offer from an amazing organization in my field of study. Also reached my financial goals for 2017. Yes, girl. Yes. Next, @Sincerely.Janae. I officially launched my consulting agency.
Woo-hoo.
Yes, and lastly, Caked by K. I made a teaser flyer on my own and will be releasing lip scrubs very soon. Yay, congratulations. Congrats, guys, on all of your accomplishments. Definitely still submit any wins every week to our Instagram page @BlackGirlBosses. Of course, if you have questions, you can submit that @BlackGirlBosses as well. So for my wins, they're pretty simple. I launched the Queening Group, so I'm excited about that.
Woo-hoo.
If y'all want to learn about all the awesome products and the 2 coaching programs of the Queening Group, and you want to work with me individually, visit www.thequeeninggroup.com, or you can always reach out to me, Tatum, TATUM, @thequeenacademy.com. Okay, and the second one is I'm officially done with my job, so that's definitely a win.
Wait. You had to get 2. I'm sorry.
And for Black Girl Bosses, we reached 20,000 downloads. Woo, 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 woo. So what about you?
My wins is kind of long this week.
Yes, come on.
That was good. You know, I had to celebrate my wins and I had to celebrate my interns' wins. So, you know, it's going to be a little lengthy. But for the first one, and I'll save the yes for the end.
Okay.
So the first one was I went to sleep twice between 11 and 11:30 p.m.
That is impressive for you. Like, you be up all night. That is crazy.
That's why I said that was a win. I was so tired this week, and I think it's because my body's starting to get used to the gym and stuff, and like getting back in the swing of things with that. So, and my trainer was definitely going hard last week, so I was always tired. When I came home, I'm like, do I really feel like working? Can I look at my computers? Like, I had to force myself to even do anything, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep before 12 o'clock. So, secondly, yesterday, which was Saturday from today when we're recording an episode on Sunday, my client, Douglas McNeil III, had his 3rd annual I Dream Youth Football and Cheer Camp. We secured in 1 month the following sponsors: Coke, McDonald's, Smoothie King, and Shield of Strength.
Yay! Come through, sponsors. I would have came and got me a smoothie.
Girl, we have so many. You know, you guys know the Gatorade tubs, like the big Gatorade thing that they have at the football games that throw in the coach.
Yeah.
They had given us 2 of those. And it was the strawberry banana and the mango.
You should have told me. I definitely would have came. I had my own cup filled up on the smoothies.
Yeah, so shout out to those sponsors. We definitely appreciate you for coming through, especially in such a short time frame. So my intern, which one is this? This is Kiera. She locked in several sponsorships and vendors. I think she locked in about 4 sponsorships and about 3 vendors for Tula Talks launch party. I won't release who the sponsors and vendors are, but that was also done within a short amount of time. The launch party is next weekend, and she worked on this throughout the month of April.
That's what's up. Yeah.
So I'm super pressed for that. And she also locked in a media interview with KMW exclusive for Tula. So
okay,
the reason,
intern, come through.
right, and the reason I'm super proud of that is because, you know, they go through training as interns. So I do PR training, I do social media training with them, and I do marketing training. So part of their training is developing the pitch, learning how to pitch, and learning how to do those sponsorship packages.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that she, you know, put that together and used her pitch and was able to will those in, and we used the media kit that you management developed for Tula Talks, you know, it just made me feel good knowing that I'm teaching them the essentials and things that they need to be successful. So that's their win, but it's a win for the company.
Right. Mm-hmm.
My intern, Amethyst, she secured a feature for one of our clients in Rolling Out Magazine.
Yes, Amethyst.
Right, yeah. Shout out to Amethyst. So that's up now. So I'm gonna place the link on our U Management page, which is the letter U management.llc, which is our Instagram. So you guys can just go ahead and check that out if you want to, the article on him. And then last but least, or not least, or lastly of the day, the win we did was we got the Chance the Rapper post for a Males Making Moves Monday. They got 113 retweets and 175 faves. And I think that's the most retweets and faves that we've ever received on Twitter.
Yeah, that's good exposure.
It's great exposure. And the key about that is, I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, so you just posted a post about him and that was it. No, we make flyers. And it has his picture on it. It says Males Making Moves, and it has our logo on it. Mm-hmm. So as many times as it was retweeted and fade, our logo was on it, which means it's being seen. Mm-hmm. And that is our wins.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. I definitely had to share it because I don't really feel like I share like what the company does all the time. Mm-hmm. I kind of just like let it happen and then move on. But those are really, really big. And like I said, not only for me, but more so for my interns. So that's something they can put in their portfolios and carry forward.
Right, exactly. Cool. Well, you guys, this wraps up another episode of the Black Girl Boss podcast. As usual, if you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email or visit us on the web at www.blackgirlbosses.com. Follow us on Instagram at Black Girl Bosses, and we will see y'all, talk to y'all next week.
See ya.